How's it going, guys? Jimmy back again. I got some more Metal Gear Solid gameplay for you. This time we are playing Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. But this time the gameplay is not important. It's just a kind of backdrop to what I'm going to talk about today. And that is Metal Gear Rising. I'm going to talk a little bit about that, tell you my thoughts on that. As we all know, if you're a gamer, you probably have seen it. If you watch the VGAs, you've seen it. And this is my opinion on it. So I didn't actually get to watch the VGAs as it happened. I was at work. I had to work till 10. Didn't get home till about 11. Came home, though, and watched all the trailers, all the reveal trailers. And the Metal Gear one was actually the first one I watched. Because I'm a big Metal Gear fan. I think it's the best series in gaming. I have a pretty decent-sized Metal Gear collection. I just love Metal Gear in general. So I'm really I was really excited for Rising. And I still am, for the most part. But I am now more worried than ever. I was worried in the first place just because it was taking so long. You know, it was announced a couple years ago, I believe, and it was taking so long, and we didn't hear any news, and it was just like one teaser trailer, and it was getting ridiculous. So I was worried about it for that, and then it came out that they changed producers, or directors, or something happened. Changed development teams. That really worried me, because usually when that happens to games, it's not really a good sign. So I heard about that, and that really concerned me about the game. And then the newest VGA trailers came out. Looks like a completely different game from the trailers we've seen before. It's made by Platinum Games. If you guys don't know, they did Vanquish and Bayonetta, two extremely good games. Very good games. If you haven't played them, go out and play them now, especially Vanquish. I really loved Vanquish. Underrated games. Both games didn't really sell a ton, but both games were very good, and I think critically rated pretty well. So, very good games. And I was like, okay, well, that's good. But, they made some changes that concerned me. When Metal Gear Rising was first announced, first of all, it was called Metal Gear Solid Rising when it was first announced. Now it's just Metal Gear Rising, so it's not part of the Solid games. But it was set to take place between 2 and 4. And we were finally going to see, how Raiden became a cyborg ninja. What he's been doing past couple years, because it was a couple years between 2 and 4. And I was really excited because I think it's a part of the Metal Gear story that a lot of us really would like to know. What happened and how he became a ninja, what happened. We all want to know that. Every Metal Gear fan wants to know. So I was really excited because I was, yes, they're finally going to tell a story. And now they've actually moved it. They actually changed the story. It's now going to take place after Metal Gear Solid 4. And the more and more I read about it, the more and more I think about it, I think it's just going to be a spin-off. It's going to be a complete Metal Gear spin-off with Raiden. And I'm really even wondering if the story is even going to, I don't know, make sense in the Metal Gear universe. Now, the way I think I see this is, like I said, Platinum Games is making it. I have faith in them to make actually a good game. I think it's going to be a very good game. I don't think it's going to play anything like any Metal Gear game we've ever played before. But I think it's going to be a good game. And I have faith in the gameplay. But I'm just worried about the story. Because like I said, I'm a huge Metal Gear fan. And story is #1 for me. Story over gameplay when it comes to Metal Gear. I love Metal Gear stories. They're just absolutely fantastic, and I want it to keep going. But man, I don't even know. Is the story in this one even going to be anything, relevant to what we've seen? That's my concern. It's happening after 4, and I guess this is spoiler alert if you haven't played 4. But if you're not a Metal Gear fan, why are you watching this video in the first place? But after 4, we seen Raiden. He got all jacked up in 4. Lost his arms, whatever. Got beat to hell. But at the end of 4, we seen him. He got a new set of arms. They looked prosthetic. Metal Gear 4 takes place in the future, so when I say prosthetic, don't think of the prosthetic limbs we have today. They look way more technologically advanced than the ones we got. But nonetheless, they look like fake limbs. But he got his limbs back. He got his body back. He looked normal. Him and Rose, whatever, got back together and had a kid and all that good stuff. And now this game takes place after 4, and he's all cyborged out again. Like, That makes no sense to me. Now, we don't know much about it, and I'm sure in the coming months, and however, I don't even know, they don't even have a release date for it yet, but closer to release, we'll learn more about it. But the more I read about it, and the more I watch the trailer, and it just makes no sense to me. It absolutely makes no sense to me where this could fit in the Metal Gear storyline. You know, so like I said, I think it's just going to be a Raiden spinoff. You know, and if they're going to do that, don't even have anything story related to Metal Gear at all. Just make it completely like Metal Gear games didn't even exist. I have a feeling though it's going to be some kind of half-assed half-assed story, some that tries to tie in Metal Gear Solid 4 and whatnot. But we'll see. I'm concerned about the story. I'm not worried about the gameplay. It looks like a hack and slash game. I've heard people say Devil May Cry ripoff, whatever. Shut the hell up. I mean, the gameplay looks fun. Hack and slash. Listen, it's not supposed to be a stealth game. You're not Snake. You're not Big Boss or whatever. It's not supposed to be stealthy. You're Raiden. You're a ninja. You're supposed to fuck shit up. That's the whole point of it. Now, does that mean the gameplay is going to be more fun than Metal Gear? It depends on what you like. If you like hack and slash games, it's going to be way more fun. If you don't like the more stealthy approach, you're probably not going to enjoy it too much. But I think the gameplay is going to be fantastic. I'm just so concerned about the story. And something like a bad story really kills a game for me. So, we will see. But I also have another theory. In a recent interview, Hideo Kojima recently talked about how he was probably going to have to make Metal Gear Solid 5 at some point. This is my theory, and really, that's all it is a theory. But Metal Gear Rising was supposed to take place between 2 and 4. You know, they got some problems. The game wasn't turning out the way they wanted to. My theory is that they, were displeased the way it was going. Kojima doesn't want to do a Metal Gear game right now. I think he wants to focus on other projects. And he was like, okay, listen, we're just going to bring in someone else, have them take Raiden and do whatever they want with him. I believe he was like, listen, I would like to tell a story of what happened between 2 and 4, but I want to do it my own way. I think he wants to do that. I believe he's the kind of person that, when it comes to the main storyline, the important parts, I don't think he wants anyone else telling him but himself. So maybe they just brought in Platinum Games. It's like, here, you take Raiden, he's a cyborg ninja, do whatever you want with him. Just the story is no longer between 2 and 4. It's after 4. So do whatever. Make it a spin-off, whatever you want to do. We're trying to add something new to the Metal Gear universe. But I believe that there will be a Metal Gear Solid 5. Soon? I don't think so. I think maybe PS4. So, not anytime soon. And it's going to be called Metal Gear Solid 5. Whatever. And Kojima will be the head director of it. Or at least play a major role in the game. And it will tell a story between 2 and 4. But I believe he was so displeased with the way it was going, Metal Gear Rising, before Platinum Games got there. I think he was concerned that they weren't going to tell the story right. And they weren't going to, they just weren't going to do it right. So I think he's now just being like, okay, listen, I'll tell the story when I make Metal Gear Solid 5. I could be completely wrong. And I think that maybe, sounds maybe like a little bit like a conspiracy or whatever. But I really believe that's the case. Like I said, it could be wrong, and it could just be, I don't know. I really don't know what it could be. It's just, I'm concerned with the storyline. I really am. But we'll see. We will see. But the trailer, let's go back to the trailer of Metal Gear Rising. It was actually pretty cool. I actually really enjoyed the trailer. Like I said, it's gonna be a hack and slash game. I have no really problem with that. Like I said, it's gonna be a new entry into the Metal Gear series to try to get more different fans involved. The game doesn't look as good as maybe it did when the first trailer came out. Probably it looks like a little bit more polished version of like a Bayonetta or a Vanquish, which by all means those are good looking games. But the only problem I have with the trailer is at the very end of the trailer, Raiden is like, they're bringing him back. His nickname is Jack the Ripper, and that's they're doing that as marketing. But at the very end, he's like, it's time for Jack to let it rip, and I cringe every time I hear that. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Metal Gear Rising, guys. Comment below, and let me know if you agree with me or disagree. Why not? All that good stuff. Like the video, helps me out a bunch, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks, guys.